Give me a second, please. Uh, let's see. What can we do? Forget the green screen. That shows up first. Let me get some pictures. Furry background. No, that's too big. Hold on. All right, let's do a backwards clock like MRBs. Backwards. Yeah, done. Okay. Hey, Heather, how are you, honey? Oh boy, I don't know if I'm calmed down enough. And Merb, don't get excited, because you got me triggered. This isn't about court. It's just about your character and how dumb. How you're a dumbass. You are a dumbass. And let me get my thoughts together here. Without me trying to say something I'm going to regret. Hi, everyone. Hi, Irene. Hey, Wendy L. Good to see you. Good to see you. So, if anyone's not aware yet, the case against Heather and Merb was dismissed without prejudice. I believe it's without prejudice, meaning it can be refiled within the statute of limitations. Um, I have not read the judge's decision, um, except through hearing through Heather that it's been dismissed without prejudice. Merb, I don't remember anyone saying or that it read that the judge rendered a verdict on your behalf. So you didn't win. You dumbass. But this is what a narcissist does. And this is the lack of her credibility. Okay? And of course, her 10 followers are going to, play dumb like, I haven't watched, I don't know if she's gone live, but I guarantee you there's not anybody, hi Valerie, honey, there's not anybody in her chat that's going to say to Merb, correction, it's a dismissal. You didn't win. Nobody won. Do you think somebody in her chat will remind her of that? Hi, Carol Clark. Good to see you. Let me just wipe my glasses. I can put my phone down. Okay. Um, all all mommy ramblings in hi, and I want to put a shout out to my nephew Michael in case you're watching, because I'm going to do a live stream on you too. Okay. Um, that's for another day, but I'm not going to go any further with that. Um, I just lost my train of thought. So, it's about character. Now, myself and other people were physically in that courtroom when that trial went on. And we all witnessed that Merb did lie under oath several times. She not only lied, she ran that courtroom like it was hers. She interrupted the judge several times, was reprimanded several times, not just once. One time it's like, okay, sorry, Your Honor, I won't do that again. She ran that courtroom like it was hers. And I am sure in her narcissistic mind, she thinks this is a victory for her. If it's any kind of a victory for her, it's because she thinks, well, she got away. Well, it wasn't, I shouldn't say get away. She wasn't held accountable for her lying. Um, I mean, I had to leave the courtroom at one point when she brought up her deceased son. I'm like, here she goes again, looking for the sympathy card. I had to physically leave the courtroom because I didn't think I could hold my composure. And, it's a compilation of a lot of things that she's done throughout the years, that she's lied about, that she will never take accountability for anything. She blames everyone else. For example, her channel tanking. Your Watts case was Merv, you're one and done. Not only for you, but for a lot of people out there. And when another person would cover the Watts case, you would get angry and you would email other creators and ask them to go after another creator who's covering the Watts case. Do you remember Beastie Boy? That's how vindictive she is. This, like, the world stage is hers. And instead of taking responsibility for her own failures, it's so easy for her to turn around and blame everyone else. Hi, Beth. This message is for hidden Toby show. Hi, Toby. She's showing her balls tonight. I can't watch. I'm not ready to watch her. It's the weekend. Again, I don't. For a woman, it's her behaviors. And I always say, and I'm at the point where I can't do her anymore. I can't. I can't do her anymore. The trial is over. I don't know if Heather will file an appeal. Excuse me. But for now, as long as it's over, it's over. It's over. A narcissist enjoys any kind of attention, even negative attention. And it's sick. It's sick. And I know narcissists in my real life, and I ignore them completely. Completely. If I have to be around a narcissist in my real life, I am cordial. I have boundaries. I don't engage in conversations that I don't feel comfortable with, because I'm in self-preservation mode. And with Merb, I don't know. I think she's the worst case I've ever seen. And I'm putting it right out there. She's a narcissist. Point blank. She is with borderline personality disorder. So imagine to be in the court and tell the judge that she isn't going to be able to feed her family if she loses. That, her money, her income has suffered because of other people, but yet she can go out, go on mini vacations, go on show hell vacations, whatever they're called, go out to restaurants, go flying around like a maniac looking for McDonald's toys and Happy Meals. It's disgusting. It's disgusting, and it's her lying. It's the character that she shows that upsets people. Hey, Angela. Hi, Irene. Hey, Pussycat. These are people. Let me tell you a little bit something about MRB and Jimmi. And Jimmi doesn't take accountability. Remember last year? Oh, yeah, next week I'm going to go on my channel and I'm going to tell everybody about working at the family foundation school and what the hero I am. Bullshit. Did he ever do that? No. No one ever. And then, we're accused of accusing him as being a pedophile. No one ever said that. Another lie Mer puts out there. We go after her deceased son. Another lie she puts out there. This is so she doesn't have to take accountability and look at herself in the mirror and see herself for the person she is. And a woman who calls herself a child of God, which is absolutely bullshit. She is not God-fearing. And when the time comes, when our day comes, she'll be looking for salvation. Because she'll be on the judgment stand. You find your salvation before you die. Not after you die and you're like, because that is your day of judgment if you have not found your salvation. And You know, I pity her. I really do. I can just imagine she telling, "Oh, I won. I won." Are you a dumbass? Nobody won. I mean, in my mind, Hell to the No and Jackie have won because they have the courage to file this lawsuit after all the times MRB has threatened to sue everybody. Started that legal fund to sue Natasha Cooper. That didn't happen. That didn't happen. Collected a lot of money and is still collecting money for her lawsuit, for the lawsuit in New York. Still collecting money. Get rid of your Nightbot, Merb. Donate for my legal defense fund. It's over. It's over. And I doubt you paid your nephew much money. She's too old to repent for all. Hi, Jamie. No sound? Really? All right, hold on. Can you guys hear me? Let me disconnect. All right. Can you guys hear me? Am I been like, how long? You hear me? Okay, I just disconnected my Bluetooth. Sometimes that messes things up. Does anyone know the time? Look at that clock. That's Merb's time. Adventures with Beth, hello. Hi, thanks, Carol. Okay. Nowhere did the judge render a verdict saying, for the defendant. It's a dismissal. It blows my mind that she's that arrogant and selfish that the judge did, I believe, wrote somewhere where Heather held the burden of proof, but it just wasn't enough. And in that mind, that's a win. But Merb, for you to lie in the stand, and I swear, as God is my witness, sitting in the courtroom looking at you in your behavior, and you lying under oath. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do. You lied. You lied. That to me is evil. You're an evildoer. You're an evil. How do you sleep at night? How do you sleep at night? I can't imagine living that life, being around someone like this, who's always in competition with you, who always has to win, who always has to be right, even when they're wrong and even when they lose. You lost, Merb. You lost the minute you walked into that courtroom and started lying to a courtroom, to a judge, to a court of law. You lied, and the transcripts will prove it. Once we get the transcripts, it's going to be all over the internet. And ChatGPT will pick that up too. Because already on the internet, if you Google Mummy Rambling's blog, Reddit comes up, ChatGPT, you'll see the channel that she's created and tanked herself and what the public's opinion is about her. But she blames us. Ex-Ramblers, they left. They left. They didn't want to talk about her. But Merb would talk and talk and talk and try to ruin their reputations. And these women and men had a right still to defend themselves. So Merb, it's your own doing. It's her own doing that's why her channel is tanking. Yes, and I'm going to post. I'm going to do a community post and post that ChatGPT of Merb so everybody can see. And if you don't have ChatGPT, just go to the App Store, type in chat, C-H-A-T, G as in girl, P as in Peter, T as in Tom. And It's free. I mean, you can pay $19.99, I think it is, a month. If you want memes made, images, but you can ask questions endlessly. Um, and Chat GPT will give you a lot of information. Yes, she doxes, she threatens, she threatened me, you know, with you know, I know your legal name, and she accused me. Damn it, I'm gonna go off. Let's do a summary of MRB. Let's do pink GPT. Okay? CPS at her house. She blamed YouTubers. Said that the CPS worker was a friend that she knew, or I think it was a he, and that this social worker told MRB it was a YouTuber. She blamed me, Lisa D, I think it was Lisa D, BBT, because we're mandated reporters. I called CPS in that county to tell them that you've got an employee that may be giving information out, which we don't know who called. It could have been a neighbor that called when they heard MRB screaming down the road about her dead dog. Her behaviors are ludicrous, and she's got children. But no, we did it. We went after her deceased son, everything. Yep. So CPS confirmed with me, they got back to me, that their CPS worker did not disclose in any way, shape, or form who made the call. And the only way that's made public is if the case is subpoenaed in a court of law. So that was a lie. Hey, Teach My Ash, how are you? Let's talk about the dead dog. Speaking of, a crazy lunatic walking down their neighborhood screaming, about their dog, and that, screaming at YouTubers, thinking it's our fault somehow. Whether she thinks we sent someone to her house to hit her dog, but we all know Jimmy hit the freaking dog. Because you didn't have your dogs leashed up. How many dogs, J-May, has she lost prematurely, like before their time, due to not treating them for Lyme disease or ticks or lower, whatever. Showing her dead dog bleeding, it was disgusting. And those are the pivotal moments in my head that I remember that day where I was driving, what town I was in, what the weather was like. These are messed up happenings that she created that are stored in my memory bank. Those poor kids, yeah, having her kids sit next to a dead, warm, bleeding dog, not covered, not engaging with her children, comforting them. It's traumatic. The dog was hit by a vehicle, run over. And the last thing she does is engage with her children. Her priority was engaging with people on a live stream. The attention that she seeks is sick. It's almost like a Munchausen's, don't you think? Oh, I believe it was run over by Jimmy. Or maybe it was a UPS truck or FedEx, but they don't typically go into driveways. I don't think they're allowed to go into driveways because it becomes the owner's property. And if something happens, UPS, FedEx, whatever, can be sued. So they stay on public streets. Yeah, exactly, Beth. We better comfort her, right? We better comfort her. And, If you watched my video I put up last night of MRB, and thanks Hell to the No for that clip, the wire hangers. I have it somewhere, but I'm not organized. Um, of MRB throwing wire hangers, going down the stairs, like it sounded like a trampede, didn't it? I mean, a stampede, stampede. Boom, 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 boom. Jesus. Running down and throwing wire hangers at Jimmy's feet when he asked politely for wire hangers. And he just takes it. He just takes the abuse. Now, if anyone doesn't know, Jimmy's a convicted felon. Armed robbery. Went to prison. Escaped from prison. Went back to prison. But he's a reformed man, right? Right? He's a good guy. Got a job at the family foundation school in New York, where minor children, or 18 and under, were abused. And always abused. So much so that many of those students took their own lives. And he has yet to talk about that. MRB turns around and says, we're accusing him of being a pedophile. I'm like, nope. But he was there, and you can't tell me a school like that, you don't know what's going on for all the years you've worked there? Are you kidding? Are you kidding? You go and report some peeping Tom, and you go to your supervisor or the principal or whatever. Did you follow up? Did you follow up? Did you call law enforcement and saying there's a creepo peeping in windows? Or what did the superintendent or the principal do to resolve that issue? You see, Jimmy, we can be held accountable just for knowing, and I don't know how you can sleep at night knowing the amount of children that were abused at that school, and you didn't call law enforcement. No one's accusing you of doing it. We don't know that. You never told your side of the story, and you never did what was the right thing to do. Teachers are mandated reporters. That could have saved hundreds of lives, and over 100 kids took their lives. Don't be fooled. That could have saved lives if law enforcement was involved. If you saw something, hi Debbie Johnson. I tell her she didn't win, but she had me blocked for years. She knows she didn't win, but this is how a narcissist acts. This is how they act. And her few followers, like Scooter, who has no credibility, are gonna be like, great, you won. Like dumbasses. It was a dismissal. It didn't say, verdict for the defendant. I can't wrap my brain around this type of thinking. But like I said, when the transcripts come out, well, this is far from over. When the transcripts come out, you will see. I'm sure Randy and Wendy, or maybe Heather herself on her channel. And I suggest, Heather, go back to your channel, resurrect it. You have every right to. You have every right to resurrect your channel and speak out, and you'll see the transcripts. And if 9 of us were there and 9 people tell you she lied, you're going to tell me MRB thinks 9 people lied, just like she thinks when we left the courthouse we were stalking her, running her down. Oh, let's follow MRB. She wasn't even a thought in anyone's head. Our focus was to support Heather. It was a long day. She did phenomenal. to support her and Jackie. And if you're going to say, you know, two people go different directions but meet near the same spot because their cars are parked in the same garage, you dumbass, and you call that stalking. But see, that's what she wants. That's the kind of attention she seeks. Comes into the courthouse with sunglasses on. I'm not shitting you. Came in with sunglasses on like she was some celebrity. Her friggin' Temu sunglasses. With burnt out orange frizzed hair. Poor posture. It was an embarrassment. It was truly an embarrassment. And Jimmy, you're not looking well. And I mean this with all sincerity. I was shocked. I was shocked when I saw him. He just does not look well. He's very thin. Like he has no muscle tone. Like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him. And I don't wish harm on anybody. But he did not look good. And I'm not talking about, you know, this court thing must have, this looks like he's been through like a battle for years. She would have called cop or CIA, KGB. Charlie, good question. Let me see Charlie's question. Irene, why aren't you on the Florida panel anymore? Heather should do that and we will all be there. Absolutely, absolutely. We would all be there for Heather if she resurrects her channel. Heather was on Randy and Wendy's. I don't know if she's still in here. She sounds good. She's optimistic. Again, you know, winning comes in many different forms as far as having the courage to go forth and sue a woman who threatened lawsuits on just about every ex-Rambler, okay? Who put people, who contacted, went real life, contacted their town cops, their town Facebook groups, to defame these ex-Ramblers' characters. This is what she does. And she's tanking because it's her behaviors. It's as simple as that. And I think we've all been, most of us have been around long enough to realize that. She never shows proof, ever, ever, ever. In fact, I was watching one of Heather's older videos where MRB was like, I have the proof, I have the text messages. Well, show them. You know, she'll say she's got the proof. She never, ever, ever shows it. Do you remember the time when her, someone brought this up in my video under the chat when she had her, a particular tab open on her computer where she had, I don't know if it was 75 or, and it was like click next, so there was more, but 75 phone calls recorded. So she records people when they call her friends. She records them. But yet goes after BBT for wiretapping because Massachusetts, we're a two-party state. New York isn't. But how can you do that? So you record people because it's legal, but you go after BBT because we're a two-party state. Like, that's how vindictive she is. She has no morals. I'm sorry, Irene. You stay away now. She had some blouse on. She had the same blouse on from the night before. The verdict is going to let MRB act even worse now. I agree, Charlie. So this is where a narcissist gets their narcissistic supply, their fuel. She's going to be going on about this for a long time. I suggest, for your own sanity, not to watch her, not to engage with her, not to even talk about her. I always said I want to get to a place on social media when the Ramblers, ex-Ramblers would come to me and say, hey, can I talk? and they'd come on my live streams, and I've been putting some of them up as replay just for people who haven't seen them, or just to see how long MRB has been behaving like this. And I always said that once we talk about it, you know, surround yourself with people who've gone through the same experiences, you know, whether it's narcissistic abuse, whatever, whether it's grief, um, any kind of trauma. Make sure you surround yourself with good-hearted people that share similar experiences. That's part of the healing process. The goal with a narcissist is to no longer, you know, outside of family. Sometimes you have to engage with family members if you have a narcissist in your family, and that's when you set boundaries. But something like this, you completely disengage. You don't talk about her anymore. It's over. It's like she's gone. Poof, poof, she's gone. Because a narcissist seeks any sort of attention, negative and positive. She's going to be looking for people to talk about her. As long as they're talking about her, it feeds her ego. And if you go into my playlist, I have a playlist of topics on narcissism, which are very helpful. And it took me a while to figure out what is a narcissist. And I did a lot of research. I listened to a lot of psychologists, and I couldn't at first wrap my head around it. I'm like, how can people be like this? And some people are born without that part of their brain that engages or feels empathy, sympathy. If you fall down on the street and, you know, they'll walk right by, or they'll have no inclination to come over and help you. And you're like, why? But because some people are born that way. And some people, it's developed through upbringing. They could have been the spoiled child. They could have been the abused child. There's many factors to it. And there's no treatment for it. As far as here, take a pill. Fix it. These are people that, the more you know about narcissism, when you see the red flags, you stay away from people like this. And when you first engage with them, they love bomb you, you know, they're great, and what a great friend. And then, you know, they start manipulating you, and then you start opening up about your personal life, and then that's where they trap you. You leave me, I've got this information. Don't share your personal information with a narcissist. They will use it against you for as long as that you allow it. She will glow for weeks. Let her, she's a liar. She didn't win. She's a liar, and everybody knows that. She is making a fool out of herself. I won. I didn't see anywhere where it said, you know, the defendant ruled. The judge ruled in the defendant's favor. Didn't see that. Dismissed without prejudice. That's not the same as winning. Heather had most of the proof for burden of proof, but it wasn't enough. It was like she was right there, but it wasn't enough. So MRB will probably turn around and go, I told you so. We won. I always knew we win. Thank you, God. I love God. He answered my prayers. She's a fallen angel. That's what she is. And using God for her convenience when it's convenient for her. I took a screenshot of my comment on her channel because it's comments to feed her supply. Yeah. Hi, Dory. Good to see you. Dory, I watched a few of your live streams and replays. I'm just not on YouTube as often anymore, but I do want to let you know I still watch you when I can. Let's get to, you know what, really, it was weird because when Wendy and Randy went live and started talking about, you know, MRB is, I don't know if MRB was live or it was just a community post, and talking about how she won, and there was some comment from Jimmy left, which we don't think it's from Jimmy, but anyway, that really triggered me. And it wasn't about the lawsuit. It was about just how disgusting that she truly is. And it brings me back to that day when she allegedly received a call that in the nature being of SA on speakerphone. Can you repeat that? What did you say? And I do have it recorded. Do I ever want to listen to it again? No. But she had me in tears that day because there's a lot of us, a lot of people out there who are survivors of childhood SA or adult SA. But the fact that she allowed this alleged caller to be descriptive to the T on how he would abuse her minor child had to be the most disgusting thing I've ever heard on the internet. She allowed it and she didn't blink an eye. It was like she was herself getting off on it. Poor me. Look at someone's calling saying they're gonna assault my minor son and do this to his private part. And she said it, the word, just sickening, sickening. And there's not one bone in her body that will defend one victim or survivor over at the Family Foundation School when it was in, it's not in operation anymore. Not one. Denying them their rights, their due process, fighting with other creators like my favorite villain. Wanting to be the author of the story, inserting herself into others people's traumas when she knows nothing about it. She did go live. It was a post on her post page. Oh, she didn't go live. Thank you. That's why MRB insinuated I'm gay, because she so wants to be true. I don't think she knows. Yeah, maybe it is true. I don't think she knows what it is to be loved, to give love. She puts herself first all the time, and this is a woman who doesn't know what love is. Look at the way she treats her husband, throwing wire hangers at him, chastising him for the way he made her a birthday cake, yelling at her kid, getting all frustrated at her kids because the ice cream was melting and they didn't put it away in the freezer. They're kids. And dragging your kids to a courtroom, which they had no need to be there. They weren't witnesses. But that's what a narcissist wants. They want that attention. But my God, to put an SA call on a live stream, on speaker, and allow the verbiage that came out of that phone, and she just sat there like she enjoyed it. Oh, I got your number, or you're really stupid. I would be so outraged. And the alleged text of child P, give me a break, Merv. How did that go? Did you contact the FBI? Most narcissists would wallow in the thought that they got a hold of the FBI and they're pursuing this. You never have an update to your bullshit lies. You're not good at it. She got child P sent to her. Did she think of the child? And maybe that child's in danger? That child's been kidnapped? Did you call the FBI, MRB? No, because it didn't happen. It didn't happen. Someone who lies to you every single day, plays them all for idiots, and the few left over there don't even care to pay attention to it. It's the narc abuse they allow is frightening. I agree. Mm-hmm. MRBs want to be sexy voice at times. Oh, her quiet voice on the lake, so nobody would hear her. Do you remember when she went live at the lake a couple of years ago, and her poor son was talking to one of her friends, and she was like, oh, like she wants to control everything. Let the kid talk to the neighbor. I don't think it was a friend, it was a neighbor guy, an adult. What is she, paranoid? You know, like she wants to own everyone and everything. She wants to have control of everything, even the friggin' lake. That is anyone sick of looking at that lake? It's starting to turn into a toilet to me. It's nothing but a square toilet bowl. Go out to another lake. Show, you know, I don't know. I'm tired of giving her advice, subtle advice, and sometimes not so subtle. Like, Merv, do this for your channel. Don't do that. Your algorithms, you know, she thinks sub counts are going to make her algorithm, you know, go off the charts. It's not that. It's engagement. It's engagement. How long people stay to watch your channel, but you're so like bipolar with going from crime and you know, to crafting, to auctions, to word cookie. Okay? People like to stay focused, and people's attention spans are very short these days. So, you know, once you start, you know, you sit there and just read articles, you gotta change the way you do shit and stop blaming us for your channel tanking. It takes a certain talent to be a successful true crime MRB, and you're not, I hate to say it, it's not your niche. Nope, she used it as content instead of reporting it like a good mother would. Exactly. And telling everybody I got, you know, child pee. Jimmi, this is so disgusting. I'm gonna call the FBI. And you know by Jimmy's behavior, he knows she's full of shit. He doesn't seem to, he's like, I'm going to bed. I mean, hello? That's what he said. I'm going to bed. He's so whipped. He is so whipped. But, you know, where's he gonna go? House isn't under his name. He's a convicted felon, pointed a gun at somebody, terrified them for the rest of their life. They're gonna have PTSD. Imagine being in a situation where a weapon is pointed at you, but he's turned his life around, but never talked about the victim and those he harmed. You know, maybe that's a side that people want to see of a person. What have you done to change your behavior? What have you done to give back to society for the harm that you've caused people, victims? I don't care what the circumstances were. You can say you were young and dumb, but to pull a weapon on somebody, I can't imagine. You changed that person's life forever. Their life from that day forward was never the same. And what do? You try to escape from prison. Get caught, you go back. And you found somebody that can control you. And maybe that's what you need, or felt you needed. You needed structure, because you had none. And this is what you got. Congratulations. And you never talk about your own kids. That's interesting to me. Are they even in his life anymore? Really sexy when she sells her vibrators. Did she know what those were for? Did she think that that was like for like a knot in your shoulder? And to me, it didn't sound sexy. It sounded like she was trying to keep it quiet so nobody else would hear her. And doing it in the bathroom. like hoping not to get Jimmy all aroused, because then she'd have to lay down with him. Ugh. Uh, it's like feeding a monster. The other night she controls Evie's sales. She thinks Evie is incapable of handling it. She's made fun of injections she takes. How do you allow anyone? It's gross. Hi, Elle. Good to see you. That's okay. She's so boring. Merb is worse than boring. Water torture, drip, drip. Merb worried that the bookcase behind her was falling on her when Jimmy went down. She's so egocentric and paranoid. Yeah, she brought that up too at the trial. Jimmy falling down the stairs, that's authentic. Nobody can ever recreate that. That's sick. That, like, uh, nobody can ever recreate that. Like, she took pride in that. My God, he could have broken his neck. Did she go over to him, say, don't move, let me call 911? Like, are you okay? Like, no, she was more worried about the ceiling caving down or a bookcase falling on top of her. I can't imagine, because I know what it's like to love somebody, and you don't want to see anybody hurt. If that happened in my life and someone I love fell down the stairs, I would be like, I don't even know if I'd have time to shut the live off. I would run right to that person to see if they were okay. A head injury. Did he bang his head? You should go to the hospital in case he develops a brain bleed, which could be deadly, but maybe that's what she wants. Some people are saying he staged it. I don't know. But yep, she said in court it was authentic because Heather had used it in one of her videos. And it's authentic. Like, nobody could ever reproduce that. Ever. But that's what I was shocked when I heard her say that she took pride in that. That's mine. That's my husband falling down the stairs. Falling down a flight of wooden stairs, maybe with a little bit of carpet on it, but not the plush kind of carpet. That's mine, all mine, not yours. Her auctions are tanking. Elle quit. She did? When did she quit? Scooter doesn't like doing it. Sellers are declining. Buyer, same old trinkets. Yeah, it's junk. When I would go in there once in a while, I'd see Timu's crap up there. I think I have a short video of one of them where she sold a pretzel Christmas ornament for $5, and on Temu it was like 79 cents. And I don't know if the $5 included shipping with Merb, but it's junk. It's junk. And she's running around getting McDonald's Happy Meal toys. Like she's manic over it. She was manic. Manic. And one McDonald's said to her, sorry, we can't sell them separately. But the McDonald's down the street did. Well, that's their policy, man, but it's not ours. That's crazy. Oh my God. Telling with a felon. Hey, someone would not stop me if we used the restroom and then recorded my soiled pants laughing or make me late to fight home. Having you pay for a hotel, don't you think twice? Jimmy Fallon is still in prison? Yeah, no way he is. I mean, if that's your one life you want to live, I think he tries, but I think he looks very defeated. I don't know, again, and I saw him in court, and I don't wish harm on anyone. He did not look good. He did not look good. Unless you look different on YouTube. I don't know. But it was very thin. Very just, I don't know. And her kids obviously looked like they didn't want to be there. You imagine Teenagers can't have a cell phone in court all day long sitting there. One of them was literally like pulling out his hair sometimes. And I'm just like, these poor kids. These poor kids. She dismisses his family completely. I never heard him talk about his kids either, though. I mean, I'm sure he's got grandkids. I'm not positive, but Jimmi. Hi, Elle. I just want to rescue those people, but they don't care to say. I used to want to rescue them, but I think I'm at a point now where this has been going on for so long that they know what's going on. I think a lot of them, some of them don't leave because they know what the wrath will be. Because MRB does it every time someone leaves, quietly, respectfully. MRB eventually outs them publicly, creates lies, defames them, slanders them, goes real life on them. And I don't think they want that. You know, there's that saying that some people keep their enemies closer. And there's a lot to that. And I think that's what some of them are doing. They're keeping their enemy closer. And one example, too, you know, her friendship with Sandy R., you know, MRB's constantly referring to her, even when she's in chat, by her first and last name. But nobody else. You know, and again, that's I think it's her, you know, trying to get into other people's lives who have trauma because she thinks, you know, because obviously the Watts case got a lot of attention. And MRB thinks like it's a prize, like she's friends with Sandy R. And I've looked back at some videos, and when she brings up the Watts case, it's never about to honor Shanann and those babies. It's always to criticize Chris or Chris's family. She has no problem criticizing the parents of Chris Watts, the sister. But God forbid if her kids got into trouble one day, you know, is that how she's going to treat her kids? But she can't, I could never be a friend. Like if I lost my children that way, my grandbabies, and I have a friend who just enjoys going down the Chris Watts memory lane and bringing, you know, I couldn't be her friend. At some point, you've got to turn your grief into purpose. But MRB keeps regurgitating the same old shit. And it's the same with her son. She doesn't use him to honor him, but uses her son as a victim. You know, everybody's going after him, and that's not true. Yes, she can't find the hospital. No compassion. No, narcissists do not. I was looking down and to the left like she expected something to happen. Jimmi had a nod on his head. Ellie was treated very badly. So is Elle, I'm sorry to say Ellie, is Elle still in her live streams or did she leave? Kevin never said why he left, but we can all guess. You know, MRB probably didn't get away, and you know, and a lot of people really, you know, it's like any relationship. When you first meet a person, everything's the honeymoon period. And a lot of people, and I've been guilty of it too, you know, when the relationship starts to go a little sour, you tend to remember that person for whom they used to be. you know, who you thought they used to be. And you hang on thinking they'll change. Um, Maybe he came to an epiphany that, you know, this woman's not going to change. But I can surmise why he left, just like all the other ramblers left. Kevin was forced to leave. We don't know the whole story yet. Well, he dodged a bullet, so to say. I'm sure Merb thought in her paranoid mind, you know, she's out of touch with reality. I mean, her whole life is live streaming, you know, every time she's driving. God, she went to McDonald's and she nearly went through a red light. Um, she's got to go out there and touch some trees, you know, and it's unhealthy. It's very unhealthy that she's in this matrix and that she's losing touch with reality. And it's proven. There's data out there that proves how social media can rewire your brain and create isolation, or you lose your friends or your social skills. It's out there. And there was an article that came out yesterday, I think, with teenagers, you know, with time they're spending on social media and how it's affecting their mental health and physical health, their hearts, by not moving around as much, not being active, eating more. Elle had take pain. Merb dismissed and was bothered by her. And who stole Elle's pajamas? Obviously, she felt trapped and hurt. Remember when Jimmy had the colonoscopy and she was 2 hours late getting to him? Hospital closed. They were out waiting with staff. Such concern for no one. Look at that. I got the Grim Reaper like Merb's green screen in the background. Kevin said he will share the story when he is ready. I hope he does and gets closure. Yeah. So, you know, that's what we all want. And you know, we can all talk to Merb about Merb until the cows come home, but it's really not healthy. I let her trigger me today. And it wasn't about what she said about court. It was that essay call she got. And I was in tears. I was literally in chat in Randy's live stream. And the tears just started coming out of my eyes, just like that trauma. And I'm like, my God, nobody but her can do that to me. Nobody. I mean, it's just how horrible. It's her lack of character, her meanness, her lack of compassion, no compassion. That you can just talk about child pee. Oh, I got a picture of child pee on my phone. I'm going to call the FBI. Jimmy's like, I'm going to bed. I mean, that's messed up. That's so, it feels like it's normalized in that household. I'm going to bed. I'm sorry, but if I got that on my phone, I think my significant other and my family or whoever was around me would be like, oh my God. So, and I always tell you guys, don't let her anger you. Don't let her get to you. Just read up on narcissism. The more you know, right? They'll use you as a victim every single time. And the best thing is just don't engage with them. You know, I have a hard time going into chats that just always talk about her. I talk about her, but I know over the years I've cut it way down. I might, feel like I could do a parody just to try to bring some laughter for this kind of pain for people. Like the video I did last night. You know, I hope it helps. It just, you know, gets us to laugh and not think about her meanness and the way she is toward people. But in no way did she win this case. I never watched the Chris Watts. I didn't either. I came on YouTube after the Chris Watts. Well, I came in December. Chris Watts, that happened in August of that year. I bumped into Molly Golightly, and I was like, what the hell is this? You know, and started parroting her. But there were so many people covering the Chris Watts case that it was like, and everybody had big views, like lots of views. People were raking in money off of this case. And I would have a hard time befriending somebody like if Sandra befriending MRB. When MRB made so much money off of these dead people, these babies. But we don't know who people are. You know, Sandy comes across as this, you know, God-fearing woman, and, you know, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. We really don't know people. You know, she went after Watts the Obsession channel for doing commentary. You know, it's a lot different to talk about a case, you know, but MRB is very, what's the word? She attacks people, you know, attacks victims. Watts the Obsession, she's kind, you know, she's not going to rip people apart when she discusses her thoughts about the case. And she talks a lot about Nicole Kesslinger, but MRB went after her channel. And those, I don't know if I reposted that video, that live stream where she did that. But MRB wants to be the center of the stage, and the best thing is to walk away. And it's hard to imagine, like, when someone talks negative about you, it hurts, don't you think? Not MRB, she loves it. And remember, anyone hurt by her or any narcissist, they don't hate you, they envy you. Remember that. They want to be you, they want to be in your shoes because they're so insecure, they're lacking so much, they're jealous, and that's the truth. They envy you, they don't hate you. Otherwise, if they hated you, they would have let go, like, move on. Charlie MRB never told the whole picture of the Watts case. Bias. Yeah, I remember when she went after the Watts family for visiting him in prison. That's their son. You can't tell a mother. That's a mother's love, you know. And the mother has the right to feel like she wants to feel. And we might not agree with it, but that's her child. And she ripped them apart. And they had nothing to do with the crime. Nothing. But that's how she is. Can't believe Scooter has lasted this long. Well, like I said, keep your enemies closer. I truly believe that Scooter is afraid of MRB. I do too. Because you know, it happens every time someone leaves. And I think Kevin is apprehensive about speaking out about it because MRB is going to go after him. And I'm sure he's shared some things with her that are probably no big deal, but still, this is what she does. She will hold your personal life against you. I can't understand why people give her money. She brags about lake life, 2 homes, vacations, dorm, college, shopping. Hi, my crazy life. Oh, yeah. And, tells in a court of law under oath that her channel is suffering because of us, you know, monetary wise. It's a lie, another lie. Wait till you see the transcripts, right? For us who were there in court, wait till you see the transcripts. She's had her own struggles. Yeah, MRB is very dismissive. She did it with Davida too. When Davida lost a child, and Merb has a hard time. Even when she says prayers for everyone, she's just so matter of fact, prayers for everyone. I love you, prayers for everyone. Who needs them? What the hell? What is that? But if someone else goes through a loss of a child, that's competition for Merb. She can't say, I'm sorry that you're going through that. If you ever want to talk, I'm here for you. Never. You will never hear that from her. You know? And Merb, I don't think has gone one day not going live. I think if she were on her deathbed, her last wish would be like, click the live button, Jimmy. Click the live. I want to record my death. I swear to God. I swear to God. Watch me die. Even if she's 90, watch me die, everybody. Sick. Because she knew she was lying. You know what? Whoops. Angela, I don't feel sorry for them. Because Merb can continue tagging the Watts case, talking about it, leaving those past live streams up, going after Chris Watts' parents, his sister. That would bother me if it were my family that was annihilated, making money off of these babies' deaths, turning around asking for people to pay our taxes. I mean, I've heard behind the scenes shit from ex-Ramblers that just made me sick. I don't feel bad. And I remember when Sandy's husband did a press conference and wanted everybody on social media to stop talking about the case. This was like 3 years ago. Merb didn't. And yet he went on her live after that press conference and gave an interview, and I don't get it. You want people to stop. You want your privacy. You want your children to be honored and not brought up on social media, but you go and give an interview. Talk about the case. Like, I just, no. Where's MGL? I have no idea. I haven't watched her in like, I don't know, 3 years, 4 years. I don't know. I heard she had a channel, like she lost her original channel, then she had another channel, lost that. I think she's got another channel. I have no idea what's going on with her. Molly's being sued. Everyone's being sued. There's a lot of people out there threatening lawsuits, though. Like, did Molly actually get a summons that she's being sued? There's always the Merbs out there who's going to sue everyone, collects money for a legal fund and doesn't sue. Merb acts as if she owns the Watts case. I agree, yeah. The Watts obsession was just unbelievable. Yeah, Destin, I keep saying I want to go back and watch those Watts videos, live streams, but I can't. It's so disgusting. I can't do it. Not yet. Maybe never. You change your channel a couple of times and poof. Who was arrested in May? Molly? Hold on. All right, Beth, I've got you as managing. Adventures with Beth, I got you as managing moderator, so you can drop a link if you want. They had nothing to do with the crime, and they also lost their grandchildren. I hate when people talk so badly about them. Yeah. My crazy life. That's so like way back in the day, 50s, 60s, 70s, when everyone was so quick to say it's the parents' fault, it was their upbringing. You know, this is 2025, and they're victims as well. You know, it's awful. And MRB's got that mentality. You know, anyone who's affiliated with someone, but yet she married a felon that pointed a weapon at somebody in armed robbery, who went to prison, escaped prison. So it's double standards with her. I can do it. I can be with a criminal, but you can't. Yeah, my crazy life, I agree. Yep, they're grieving, very much so. Scooter is afraid of her. She'll apologize when there's nothing to apologize for. Scooter looks wiped out. I haven't seen her lately, but she looks wiped out. I don't know if it's because, did she let her hair go gray? I don't know. But she's a prankster too. God, you know, I wouldn't trust her either. She's got a mindset of, let's do this. Let's play a joke on somebody, and it's not funny. Charlie, she screamed at me, cursing, thought I said MRB's name instead of MRB's attorney. They were calling Merck at that time. I didn't, and others who were there told her I didn't. I forgave her, but she was never the same. What are you talking about? Oh, I can see FG yelling. Merb thinks she's the gatekeeper of the entire universe. She should be reported to the GoFundMe. Someone said that it has been reported, but they don't do anything. But I would think now that the case is over, like, you know, there is no case. You know what I mean? She would need to change her whole narrative in there and say that the case is over. Like, she needs to update people, you know, and put that in a GoFund for updates. She might string it along because, you know, taxes were due, what, in August? Beginning of August, August 2nd? She might keep it up a little bit longer. Hey, Nana Patty. She was arrested while on TikTok. Get out. I'm going to have to watch replay later and get that link. I'm in my car right now. Yeah, you're welcome. Merp was ashamed of her own flesh and blood and his struggles. I will never wrap my head around it. Well, unfortunately, there are, you know, and I'll tell you something. Most parents I meet who've lost a child to substance abuse, and, you know, I'm not buying the shit that her nephew made that article on Sports Fan or whatever that page was. I have bumped into just a few people who really can't accept it. But most parents that I meet, you know, they turn their grief, their purpose, their grief and pain into purpose and wonderful things they've done. You know, setting up scholarships, not making rubber bracelets, setting up, you know, for $5, setting up scholarships in their child's memory, creating nonprofit foundations, helping out others struggling, their families, being there for them. And August 31st is International Overdose Awareness Day. So if you ever are driving around or walking around, you see purple flags, little flags in the ground. That's what that symbolizes. The flag symbolizes, each flag symbolizes the person who has lost their life to substance abuse disorder or fentanyl poisoning. So, well, MRB has no trouble turning her alleged grief into grifting. Yeah. Sucks to be her. I'm going to be blessed that we don't live in this kind of environment. At least I don't. I know a lot of you don't. We're happy. We have struggles, but, you know, we get through them and we surround ourselves with people who support us. And I don't think MRB has that. I think she's caught in this matrix of online, and she needs to log off for a little bit. This constant need to go live, you know. Didn't she write a community post one day? I'm taking a shower. I'm going home. I'm taking a shower, and I know everybody worries about me. No, no, no. Like, I don't need to know you're taking a shower, MRB. That gives me a visual, and I want to throw up in my mouth, okay? Nobody needs to know you're taking a shower. I have no inkling to go write a community post. By the way, everybody, I just got back from vacation. I'm going into the shower. I mean, no. That's how insecure she is. Tell Jimmy you're going into the shower. Maybe he'll join you. You know, with your little purple toy there. But my God, we don't need to. This is the internet. It's forever. You have children, like children. They don't need to know you're going into the shower. It's not like you're the top model. Can a mod delete what? What did I miss? Whatever. Do we get a troll in here? Or a MRB fan? Vicky, I'll make you a mod, honey. There you go. You're a mod. Thanks, my crazy life. It was Vicky. Oh, okay. No worries. Yeah, I hope he's okay. I don't know why that had to be deleted. Just saying that your son, we're praying for him, and you know, we're here. If you need us, you know, reach out to us. My email's pinkladyluck4@gmail. MGL goddess, what's second before MCL. Oh, you can also go in, you can tap over your comment, Vicky, and I think it says remove, so you can retract your comment if you don't want it up there. You're welcome, honey. And again, I hope your son is okay. Hang in there. It's not easy being a parent. Jeez. You know, and you know what? And no matter how old our kids become, we worry about them. Always. Always. Even if they're the best kids, we're going to worry about them. It's my daughter's birthday today, and I'm like, it's Friday afternoon. The traffic is horrendous. If I travel out of state to go up north to Maine or Vermont, I leave at nighttime when there's less traffic. She's already probably up there now, but I'm a wreck. I'm like, oh my God, stay safe, drive safe. Like, there's so many crazies out there. But we worry about everything. And my son, who's had his struggles in the past with substance use disorder, my God, like, it's hope. We got to keep hope. The hope is what got me one foot in front of the other. Fall down 7, get up 8, and pray and have a relationship with your Savior and surround yourself with good, kind people, supportive people. Yeah, I know, Patty. I'm so sorry. It's my biggest fear. Yes, God is watching us. And He's watching MRB too. He knows every lie. He reads our hearts. He knows everything. Everything. So again, when you leave this earth, do you want to leave with Jesus or whoever you pray to as your Savior or as your judge? Yeah, me too. I'm sorry, Beth and Vicky. I would too, Irene. You got to raise your kids to when I say God-fearing, I never knew. When I was younger, I was like, why would you fear God? He loves everyone. Oh no, now I know. You better fear God. And if you don't, then you got problems. And she does. She abuses the hell out of God. Using his scripture, Proverbs, vengeance is mine, says the Lord. MRB will say. Not according to MRB. She's out to get everybody. Leave that to God. I don't know why she can't and that's rhetorical, why she just can't surrender all her anger. And, for someone who does years of true crime, is going to take a toll on someone's head space. She'll be in the car. Oh, Jimmy, did you hear? And the kids are in the back. Did you hear about that guy who shot 4 people and hit the baby or what? I'm like, that's always on her mind. Are murders, dead people. May I see dead people? She can't have a conversation unless it has to do with murder. And it's really sad to me. It's like, she's changed the way her brain signals are working. It's just murder, 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 murder. MRB judges everybody. Yeah. All right, peeps. It's good to see everyone. Irene, it's good to see you. It's good to see Carol, everybody. Remember, MRB's gonna gloat about this. Let her have her day. Let her have her day. She goes to sleep at night. She knows. She knows. And if she doesn't know, then she needs a psychological evaluation and a head CAT scan or MRI. Because if she thinks you can just Google it. What does a dismissal mean in a court of law? It will tell you. It'll tell you. In her mind, she thinks she's won because she got away with it, right? She wasn't held accountable. That's how she looks at it. MRB lives a life of either winning or you're losing. And MRB always strives to be winning, even when she does wrong. So that's how her brain thinks. She can't even think that a dismissal is not a win legally. She's so stupid, but she's so manipulative. And unfortunately, she has dumbass subscribers in there who will believe it. You know? Thanks, Charlie. I appreciate you. All right, I gotta get in the store, and then it's the weekend. I'm heading out. Everyone have a safe weekend. Thanks for coming in and listening, helping others. Yeah, you're right, Tobert. Caring and giving back, volunteering and helping others brings such joy to your heart. Just the little things make a difference. Right. And I will always believe that our purpose here on earth is to serve others. To serve others. And if you want to hang around with people who gossip, who hurt, you know, spread false lies, rumors, things like that, that cause sometimes really bad harm and puts a lot of people on the edge, you know, that's so wrong. And don't call yourself a Christian or a Catholic or whatever. That's like me. I can stand in my garage all day. It doesn't make me a Mercedes, you know. Be careful of those people. And those who gossip about you will gossip. Those who gossip to you will gossip about you. Always remember that. And, you know, it's sad. Bye, everyone. Elle, good to see you. Nana Patty, love you too. Tobert, Charlie, Jay, May, always good to see you. Beth, Irene. Hey, Randy, I love you too. The judge left it open-ended, though. Yeah. I'll talk to Heather at some point and get the FYI on it. All I do know is they can appeal within the statute of limitations, so it ain't over yet, perhaps. It'll never be over because, you know, the truth always stands on its own. And MRB showed herself, her character, her lies in a court of law, and that'll always be out there, always. And it's adding to her lack of character, morals, and just who she really is. So remember that. Okay? All right, much love, everyone. Gotta fly. Good night.